the young jaguar was feeling sad after being abandoned by its mother. The zookeeper decided to introduce it to a lion cub, hoping the jaguar wouldn't feel lonely. Concerned the jaguar might get bullied by the lion cub, the keeper made sure to regularly check on them. The lion cub didn't like the man at first, especially when he came over and started petting him. Even though his teeth hadn't grown yet, he tried to look fierce in an adorably clumsy way. But the little jaguar slowly began to soften under the gentle strokes on his head, something he had never felt from his own mother. When the keeper first tried to approach, the young jaguar was nervous, but he quickly warmed up, even offering his paw as if to shake hands. After playing together a few times, the jaguar turned into a cuddly kitten. Every time he saw the keeper, he would run into his arms and even try to kiss him. Perhaps he had started to see the man as the mother he never truly had.
In a final effort to save his cub, the lion let out a roar to get someone's attention. Using the last of his strength, he stood up and led a man to where his cub was. The king could no longer protect his family, so he allowed the man to take his cub. The lion cub began to grow under the man's loving care, but as time passed, he became too big to stay at home, so he was taken to a wildlife sanctuary. Every time the man visited, the lion would get so excited and immediately wanted to play. But time went on, and the lion grew even bigger, so big that he had to be released into the wild. Before saying goodbye, the man gently rubbed his belly. A single tear fell from the man's cheek as the lion ran off into the distance. Not long after, reports began to surface of a lion that seemed to be looking for someone. He approached cars as if calling out to the man, until he finally saw him. The lion ran straight toward the man's car. At last, he was reunited with his best friend. An abandoned baby bobcat started seeing a woman as its mother. She gently picked it up and carried it to her car. When they got home, her young daughter greeted the little bobcat with a warm hug. They brought it inside and fed it milk from a bottle. As the bobcat grew, she started mixing meat into the milk. Her daughter was always by its side, and the two formed a special bond. But as the bobcat got bigger, the mom began to worry about letting them play together. She eventually set up a gate to keep some distance between them. Then one day, everything changed with a single hug. The bobcat gently embraced her daughter, and in that moment, the mom realized the bobcat truly saw her children as family. After that, they were allowed to be together again without barriers. And what happened? The little girl softly touched the bobcat's nose, because now he was truly part of the family. A dog kept wagging its tail while watching a kid walk into the shelter to adopt a pet. Its eyes were full of sadness, but also a bit of hope. When the kid reached out to pet it, the dog glanced nervously at the kid's mom. It really wanted to get closer, but was scared she might think it would hurt the kid. When the kid chose the dog, it carefully climbed into their car. The kid gently stroked its head to calm it down. At first, the dog was only allowed to stay in one special room, but it didn't mind, because the kid always came to play and cuddle. That was more than enough to make it happy. Over time, the dog got used to its new family and was finally allowed to roam freely around the house. Still, all it ever wanted was to be by that kid's side. Every time the kid went to school, the dog would lie on the bed and wait for them to come back. Eventually, they became best friends, totally inseparable. While checking under the hood of his car, a man found a cat hiding inside. He quickly grabbed a bottle of water, gave the cat a drink, and gently poured some over it to help cool it down. The cat kept sticking out its tongue. It was clearly overheated. Even so, it refused to come out of its hiding spot. The man tried to coax it out. After a few tries, he finally managed to get the cat out and placed it on the ground so it could rest. Then he put it in his car and drove straight to a pet shop. Once there, the medical team immediately checked and treated the little patient. They gave it a bath to clean off all the dirt. When they got home, the man gave the cat some delicious food, and from that moment on, he decided to adopt it. Under his care, the cat became much more active. Even though it can be a bit mischievous, the man absolutely adores it, giving the little one a safe, loving home. An elephant gave a desperate signal to the guides, pleading for help. She drove her tusks into the ground as if begging them to follow. Her baby was in danger. Realizing the urgency, the guides immediately boarded a helicopter and also followed her by land, tracking her closely. With every step she took, they hoped they were getting closer to the calf. When they arrived at the location, they were met with a heartbreaking sight. The baby elephant was trapped in a deep mud pit, struggling to breathe after likely inhaling too much mud. Without wasting a second, the rescue team sprang into action. It was a fight against time. With all their strength and determination, they pulled the helpless little one from the sinking trap. Finally, the baby was freed. Had they arrived even a moment later, the outcome could have been tragic. But today, life won. Grateful and safe, the baby elephant raised its trunk, waving toward its rescuers in a gesture of thanks. From afar, the mother's trumpet echoed across the land, a cry of pure joy, knowing her child had been saved. This little chimp looked adorable as he slowly stacked grass, making visitors smile and go, "Aw!" But behind his cute and entertaining behavior, he was actually dealing with deep depression. Since birth, his body was weak, so he had to be raised by caretakers. That led to him being rejected by his group. No one wanted to play with him. So he kept stacking grass over and over again. Whenever visitors came, he'd try to act serious even if he wasn't very good at it, just to get their attention. And then one day, a visitor showed him a video of street dancing. And to everyone's surprise, the little chimp instantly started copying the moves. From that moment on, he became super popular. The zoo began giving him special care. His intelligence stole many hearts, and it really helped him cope with the autism he was experiencing. Now, he regularly shows off his unique talents and gets tons of love and attention. These people came across a turtle with something stuck in its nose. The turtle looked like it was in pain, so they tried to help using whatever tools they had. At first, they thought it would be easy, but it turned out the object was lodged really deep. They tried several times, but only tiny pieces came out. The turtle closed its eyes and squirmed in pain. Blood started dripping from its nose, and every gentle pull made it flinch. The rescuers started to panic and kept apologizing, worried they might hurt it even more. They thought it might be a parasite or maybe a fishing hook, and didn't want to take any risks. So they paused for a moment and decided to cut off the visible part. That's when they realized it was a plastic straw. Everyone went silent. How could a straw get so deeply stuck in a turtle's nose? After calming themselves down, they gave it another try. Carefully and gently, they finally managed to pull the whole thing out. And just like that, the turtle could breathe freely again. A man had an unexpected visitor. A giant octopus climbed into his boat. He quickly released it back into the ocean. But to his surprise, the octopus left something behind, her baby, right there on the boat. The man gently picked up the baby octopus, holding it with great care. When he returned to shore, he decided to take it home. Days went by and the little octopus grew quickly. The man knew that one day, he would have to let it go. When the octopus became too big for its toys, the man and his wife took it to the ocean and released it back into the wild. They often visited the tide pools along the shore where the octopus now lived. But eventually, it grew too large for that area. One day, before leaving for good, the octopus gave the man a final hug and swam away. Weeks later, while the man was out at sea, he felt something in the water. It was the octopus. It had found him again. The man lifted it from the water and knelt down, thankful to be able to hug his old friend once more.